What's going on, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius? We've got another news day on Tuesday. Today is March 16th, 2021. Let's jump right in. We've got Neovision Faris. Basically, Neovision Faris, the too long didn't read. If you didn't pull for Terra, pull for Faris. Honestly, like she's basically Terra. And her CG animation is awesome, so yes. Okay. So we've got Neovision Faris. We've also got Neovision Awakenings for Bartz and Gilgamesh and Xezat. And Bart's Neovision Awakenings are kind of nothing to sneeze at. All right. So let's scroll down. You know, you get the summon coins. You know, pity, blah 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 blah. You get the same panels as traditional. Great. Faris, in her regular form, is a mage, and in her brave shift form is a breaker. Same traditional EX Awakening rewards. Infinite brave shift duration, 1 turn cooldown, available from turn 1. Alright, the STMR for Faris is a sword with 160 attack, 185 magic, and increase Evo magic by 50%. So it's basically just the same as like Terra's sword, but you know, has different like base attack values, base magic values. But it has that Evo magic attached to it. Faris's Trust Mastery is boost attack magic by 40% and Evo magic by 30%. So I'm really liking the gear that I can see coming off of Faris. Faris's vision card, we'll get to that. The Bond with Salandra, the Unleashed Evocation, you know, basically very similar to Terra. Okay, so the Bond with Salandra changes the normal attack to an Evo damage attack. So Varus's basic attack is now a Evo damage basic attack. So good for things like Arena, for instance. And then Unleashed Evocation allows any Esper in party, but also allows to apply field effects. So you can get field effects from summoning Espers like Leviathan, Golem, and Ramu. So if you use lightning, earth, or water-based, then definitely. Alright. We've got and again, just very similar DPS to Terra. And in the Brave Shift form, has a 80% break, and then a LB that does an 85% break, 130% fire imperil. Very much works like Terra in the Brave Shift form, where like there's a whole bunch of cooldowns that just build the LB gauge. But the LB gauge in this form is not like Terra's, where it does Evo damage. It's her base form that does the Evo damage. So it's kind of like just in inverted forms. Okay. Alright, scrolling down to Warrior of Light Bartz. Warrior of Light Bartz does get his Neovision Awakening. And, you know, he's got the whole kit and caboodle in his regular form, and then in his Brave Shift form, he's a support unit. Infinite Brave Shift duration, 3 turn cooldown, but it's available from turn 1. And his STMR does get upgraded. You know, Beast Killer, Plant Killer, and the attack. Fortunately, Hermes Sandals doesn't get upgraded. I always liked it. Alright, his standard abilities, he now gets Heat Wind Blade and Soaring Blade. Heat Wind Blade would be, it's just a lot of damage, and then a 130x multiplier, and then 120% wind imperil. And then Soaring Blade would be add wind to one ally, add wind to himself, and Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining. And the previous attack is also Absolute Mirror of Equity chaining. He can give a lot of Beast and Plant Killer. He can do Beast and Plant Mitigation. And he does a lot of wind damage. He can also increase his own wind damage. In his brave form, I don't know, basic form, he gets his passives. He just gets a lot more attack and increases his modifiers for a lot of his skills. and increases his LB damage, and his LB does get upgraded. Does more damage. Does a lot more damage, actually. It becomes 135x multiplier to all enemies. And the following turn, it can increase his LB by 1 to 36. So it can either be, you know, like 1, or it can fill his LB all the way up. Very powerful unit. And then in his Brave Shift form, he has Blessed Wind Crystal Warrior of Light Bartz. Boost wind damage of LB abilities and magic for all allies. So that's just to increase wind, physical, and magic damage by 45%. That's a 45% elemental damage buff. That is huge. So if you're using wind DPS, he just puts it through the roof for all allies. And he has triple cast. He can imbue wind still. He can give himself beast and plant killer. Give himself beast and plant mitigation. He has a innate dual wield. And he can chain Oriole Ray and Absolute Mirror of Equity and Graviton Cannon, I guess. And Absolute Mirror of Equity. His LB adds Wind Element to physical attacks for all allies. Buffs all allies attack and magic by 280%. And increases LB damage by 100% for 5 turns to all allies. And that cannot be dispelled. So he gives a 100% non-dispellable LB damage buff. That is enormous. That is the real meat and potatoes of his kit, honestly. He's got give everybody 45% wind damage and then 100% buff. That is amazing. So Bartz is definitely worth Neovision Awakening. Alright, then we've got Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is basically a launch unit, almost. He goes from being a physical attacker to a physical attacker. Brave Shift, infinite duration, 1 turn cooldown, available from turn 1. His Trust Mastery gets updated to just have passive 40% attack and passive 40% magic. Basically, it's just incredible little dual wield allowing attack magic accessory. Great little accessory. Almost basically an STMR level. Okay, so his featured standard abilities, we've got Military Way of Life and Dual Blade Mastery. His Military Way of Life would be increases modifiers by 40x to a lot of his skills. So that's a huge modifier. I mean, it's not huge, but it's good. And then Dual Blade Mastery boosts damage limit for various chains. Okay. So that's just increased chain modifier cap by 200% when dual wielding. So he just gets the 200% chain modifier cap right away. He gets a triple cast. He just gets a triple cast, so that's amazing. And his LB is a attack, defense, magic, and spirit buff by 300% for infinite turns to himself that cannot be dispelled. And increases his LB damage by 150% for infinite turns and cannot be dispelled. And then his Brave Shift form should be able to take advantage of that. His Brave Shift form essentially does Graviton, Oriole Ray, Bolting Strike, Tornado Physical, chaining. He does break damage with maces, axe, spears, swords, katanas to the enemy. So if the enemy has a break gauge, you're probably going to be able to bring Gilgamesh and knock its break gauge down. He can do an 85% break. He has a Magnus ability that can cover from any damage. So it's not just physical or magic cover, it's all cover. And yeah, he can do a dark or a lighten peril by 130%. For arena, if you brave shift, I suppose, he has a 70% death move to all enemies. And again, he has triple cast. He has Machine Killer, Dragon Killer, Stone Killer, Demon Killer, Human Killer, and Beast Killer, all at 100%. He's just... what do you need to... Honestly, they decided to make Gilgamesh good. And I think they did it. We'll be able to see him whenever he comes out, his actual DPS. But he seems to be a pretty useful unit, and I'm very excited to test him out on global. Okay. Alright, moving on. Whew, that was a lot of news this week, huh? And then we got Xezat. Xezat is a magic cover tank. He is a 7-star magic cover tank. His Super Trust Mastery is what I'm really looking at. It is the Mace with 180 Spirit, and increase Equipment Spirit by 75% when dual wielding. So Equipment Spirit is real nice to have, and I want one of those. Xezat's Journal. Xezat's Journal would be his Trust Mastery. It's flat 800 HP on an accessory with Defense 45 and Spirit 45, and if it's equipped to himself or Galoof or Warrior of Dawn Galoof, it fills the LB gauge to all allies by 4. So if you're using him, and you equip, say, 2 of those on him, every turn the entire party gets 8, you know, which would be nice passive LB buff, or LB gain, but yeah, it requires using him. His featured abilities, you know, he's basically a magic cover tank. His abilities aren't great, you know. He has 120% Imperil. He deals a 32x chain on Graviton Cannon. Absolute Mirror of Equity damage with Spirit Scaling. Yeah. He's okay. He is a nice little basic attack change, though. So they changed his basic attack to being a 75% magic and spirit break to all enemies. So if you were to use him in Arena, you'd equip him with like Berserk, and he would do a spirit 75% break to all enemies, and the rest of your team could, you know, clean house. So that's kind of fun. All right. So moving on, we have the Surgate Fleet Divisionary Tactics. This would be a Mog King event. So for the Mog King event, you can get your free unit of Gilgamesh, you can get his Prism. It doesn't look like we get an STMR or TMR Moogle for him or anything. Yeah. You get some Brave Insignias for free. You get Gilgamesh's Naginata. It's a 234 attack power spear, but it can only go on Gilgamesh. It has 2 abilities, boost LB damage and boost physical damage against enemies under break status, and consume Evo gauge to deal fixed damage to one enemy and activate area of effect. So on Gilgamesh, this is a fantastic item. And then we have Staff of Light. It is a 120 spirit staff that is a light element staff that is capable of casting Holy. So, you know, it'll have its uses, I guess. And then Twin Lance, 135 attack spear with normal attacks hit 2 times. So with the basic attack changes going on and basic attacks getting upgraded, perhaps this might, you know, see more use. Alright. So, yeah, you can craft out the event. I mean, you can farm out the event with all your bonus units there. And, so you've got your Insignia farm for the new units and the new Neo Visioned Awaken units. Then we've got these guys back this week. We've got these guys back this week. Alvazans. Some more fellas. A whole big banner of the tag units. And that's where we're at for Insignia farms this week. We have the unit intro quest. Faris's unit intro quest is... just do it, honestly. I know it's easy to do, but like, her LB animation is cool. It is so cool. Alright. And then Vision Cards, new arrival. We've got Faris's Vision Card. Faris's Vision Card is 65 attack, 90 magic, with increased attack and magic by 80%, and increase Evo damage by 30%. So it's basically like Terra's card, but slightly different, you know. It's a little different. So, you know, it all depends on your build, which one you'd want to run, but this is, you know, got about the same power as Terra's Vision card. It's a requirement that it's a female unit. Alright. Boop, boop, boop. The Malicious Marlboro Matriarch. Oh my god. I have a feeling Shally is writing these again. She always does this wordplay stuff. Alright, so we've got... This is the week 2 of the War of the Visions collaboration. So we get some Lapis, we get some VIP coins, we get an EX ticket. So, you know, pop in, do that real quick, beat up the Marlboro. Alright, this is huge news, honestly. Huge news, guys. So, ears perk up. We will be increasing the 5-star unit drop rate from 8% to 12%. So get ready to get flooded with 5 stars. And the Neo Vision drop rate is going from 2% to 3%. Now, whereas going from 2% to 3% doesn't seem huge, it's a lot. It is a lot. Believe me, you'll probably notice this. Release from banners going forward from 318. So definitely look forward to that. Our drop rates are going up. Alright. Miscellaneous updates. What a weird one. Alright, so they want to make throwing items good. So they're putting throwing items in the Gil shop. And with throwing items being in the Gil shop, they're changing how much they cost, changing the carry limit capacity on some of them. Some of them are going higher, some of them are going lower, and they're going to be doing more damage. This one basically is a frag grenade, now does a 75% break. This one now does just a... it seems like Imperial Grenade does the same amount of damage, because it doesn't... Unless there's a typo in there. This one does 60x physical damage with an Absolute Mirror of Equity Chain. This one does 120x damage with an Absolute Mirror of Equity Chain. And this one does 210 damage. 210x damage with a Stardust Ray Chain. Now, question. Under this, with how they're fixing it, if I just throw one, does it proc twice or does it only proc once? And then we've got Throwing Coins, Absolute Mirror of Equity, Stardust Ray, and Bolting Strike. It says deal a massive amount of damage to all enemies in Bolting Strike chaining frames. So I'm excited by these because throwing items have never really been like something that you could even consider being useful. So I'm excited to see these changes and try them out and see if they're worthwhile or, you know, they're just a flash in the pan. We have the green magic update. We're implementing enhancements to the effects of. The following green magic is included in the revamp. So we've already gotten this. The only thing we didn't get was Veil and in Thunder. So I'm wondering if they're getting boosted or this is just since everything's finished, since they'll be doing Veil and in Thunder, that now they're just posting it. Because I would hope. I mean, I would really enjoy if the green magic effects were enhanced further. That would be crazy and awesome. But I think it's just because they're finishing it off with Veil and Thunder that they're posting that. Okay. Then we have the Final Fantasy V Treasure Summon. This is a banner that's a standalone banner. You can only pull on it once, but it has really increased rates for Faris and probably Xezat as well. So if you're going to pull on this banner, good luck to you. Yeah, good luck to you if you pull on that banner. But you can only pull on it once. We have the Exchange Shop. Exchange Shop, you know, the Pity Shop. You can get Faris, Bartz, Gilgamesh, Xezat, and then fragments and prisms for only Xezat. Alright. And then we've got You Are a Pirate login bonus. So you go, you get Faris shards, you get Gilgamesh shards, you get Bartz shards for logging in. No Transcension Pearl this time around, though. And then it's the Notice for Maintenance. So that's it for this week, guys. We've got a unit. If you skipped on Terra and you don't have her, pick up Faris. Warrior of Light Bartz. If you like doing LB damage, there he is. Gilgamesh, you guys probably have Gilgamesh. I mean, you probably have Gilgamesh. So, awaken him. And then Xezat, he's a nice little, pity prize of getting the magic cover unit. The Sugar Fleet Divisionary Tactics, it's King Mog event. Get your free Gilgamesh. And then Faris has an incredible Limit Burst. A really good Vision card. Week 2 of the War of the Visions collab. The drop rate increases. And throwing weapons get increased. Which is crazy. So, thank you guys for hanging out. Much love, and peace.